Hey, hello there, good afternoon. If you happened to be with me a second ago and I bailed out of that particular video, it was because I realized I hadn't muted my sounds and there were all kinds of strange sounds coming in. Anyway, welcome, I'm Amy, and I am finishing out this month by doing readings from my book, Cultivating Compassion, Everyday Practices for discovering peace of mind and resilience. Part of it is because it's a celebratory 6th month of the launch of the book. I launched it last September on 9/11. I thought it was great to be able to launch a very positive-minded book on a day that is so often filled with remembrance of bad things. So anyway, that's part of why I'm doing this. Also, I'm going to be starting a new program called the Cultivating Compassion Club, where we will use this book as a foundation to end up having really rich conversations in a small group setting. And I'll tell you more about that a little bit later on. But for now, let's just dive into it. I am randomly opening up to some page in the book. And today, it's day number 20. Letting Go of Hardness. And as I read along, you're welcome to either watch me, which could be really fun, or you can close your eyes. I know when I was a kid, I always preferred having my eyes closed when I was listening to stories, but it's completely up to you. Letting go of hardness. Being hard on yourself is easy. Try not to do that. So listen to that again. Being hard on yourself is easy. Try not to do that. It sounds simple, doesn't it? In reality, it is simple. It's a choice. Sometimes we forget we actually do have choices about what rattles around in our brain. I talked with a friend recently about stress management, and he said he's much better at managing stress now than he was a few months ago. And I asked him what changed. He replied, when I catch myself getting down on myself about the way something went at work, I say to myself, stop thinking about that. Thinking about the problem right now in that way is not helpful. You're not taking action, and you're making up worst-case scenarios, so stop. He made a choice. He was aware of what his mind was doing, and he opted to redirect it. I'm not suggesting that we suppress or deny the agitation that creates rumination. Rather, I suggest that when we notice distress, we embrace it with kindness and compassion. We need to look for the underlying cause or the unmet need of the story. Staying connected with breath and body and letting the mental story go, while exploring the feelings that arise while settling the mind, is a wonderful technique for learning how to be easier on ourselves. So let me read that one more time, that last paragraph. Staying connected with our breath and body, and letting the mental story go, making the choice to let that mental story go, while exploring the feelings that arise as we're settling the mind, is a wonderful technique for learning how to be easier on ourselves. And I'll go back to that. I have a great example of that just happened for me the other day. But first, let me read these self-reflection questions just to think about. What would happen if I lived life from a place where what I think of me takes precedence over what others think of me? I'll read that one more time. What would happen if I lived from a place where what I think of me takes precedence over what others think of me? And the informal practice for today. Today I will be kind to myself while still being as productive as my day needs me to be. So one of the things that comes up for me with this is, I'm a huge advocate for recognizing that we have choice around what's going on in our mind at any moment. And the other day, I had gotten into an argument with someone, and it pissed me off. It didn't go well. It was sitting sideways with me on a Friday evening. On Saturday, I ended up doing a full day of massage for a fantastic group of ladies. And usually when I'm with my clients, I can stay really focused. But in this case, this argument kept popping back up for me. And so it was really interesting that over the years, I've developed enough skill with and enough practice with these ideas that I could actually set aside and observe myself with a little bit of detachment. And I thought, wow, you are just stewing over that thing. You're not having a conversation with this other person. You're not creating any positive solution. You are just stewing and letting it stir you up. And then I said to myself, you know what? You don't have to do that. You could choose not to think about that and ruminate about that anymore. Obviously, it's gone by. You've processed the emotion. But it was really great because myself said back to the one that was questioning, hey, man, I'm having a good time hanging out in my self-righteous anger. And so I said, all right, that's fine. Hang on to that self-righteous anger because you've named it. You know what's going on. And then you can make a choice later to let it go. And it was really a fantastic process for me. And I think I made the choice to stew with it for like another 45 minutes or another hour or so. And then I realized that I could let it go. And then in the process of driving home, I thought about it a little bit more. And I thought, is it even worth trying to bring it all back up again and have a conversation with that friend about why I felt things weren't right? And it was like, you know what? No. If it happens again in the future, then I can address it then. But what's happened is already gone. I don't have to hang on to it. I had fun stewing in my self-righteous anger for just a little bit, but then I made that choice to let it go. And one of the other things that I think is really important when this kind of stuff comes up is that we don't suppress or deny the emotions that we have as they go on with it. I mean, my feelings were hurt. I was bummed out. But I was willing to acknowledge that and go, wow, self, your feelings are hurt. That sucks. And not try to go, oh, it was nothing, because it was something. It was something to me. But I still had choice about how I wanted to handle that. So anyway, that's my interpretation of that chapter today. And I hope that you enjoyed listening to a little bit of that, and maybe some of the commentary made some sense to you. But I do hope that as you move forward into the rest of your day, that you also recognize that you have choice at any given moment over what's going on in your brain. So thank you for listening. I will put a link to the book on Amazon in the comment line below. Again, as I said, until the end of the month, the e-version of this book is 99 cents. If you hadn't already had a chance to pick up a copy, here's a great time to do so. And then also I'll put a link in there to a web page on my website talking a little bit more about this Cultivating Compassion Club. I think it's going to be a really great opportunity for all of us to help one another learn and grow and come up with great ideas about how to move forward with a more positive mindset and a more positive outlook as we move into the next phase of each of our lives. So anyway, have a fantastic Thursday afternoon. I hope you find some opportunity to employ the idea of using choice as what's going on with your mind today. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.